Is Terence Bud Crawford trapped? What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I got a question. I want to know if Terence Crawford is trapped, right? And in this video, I'll break down why I'm asking that particular question. I think it's a valid question, and we'll jump right into it. Terence Crawford's team just did an interview with Mill City Boxing. And Bernie of Team Crawford said something that really kind of struck a chord, and it got the wheels churning, if you will, and made me think, is Crawford trapped? Let me lay it out for you. So first, I'm going to start off with what Bernie of Team Crawford said, right? He says, quote, "I think Terence Crawford is done. If it ain't $100 million to go down and fight those guys like Janabek, Edislandi Lara, and Carlos Adames, let them guys do all the hard work." $100 million? What you think you got? Kelsey Grammer? Chelsea Clinton? $50 million? 20 million in 20s? 10 million in 10? You want some fives with that? Hey, what movie is that from? Again, now, I'm not really gonna spend the video deciphering if Crawford is worth $100 million or like if he deserves it. You know, he's had a long, lengthy career. He's had some good performances. I don't know. However, $100 million is like superstar territory, right? Like, for just to give you guys, some perspective here. Aiden Ross was with Jake Paul, and don't shoot the messenger, but Aiden Ross did an interview with Jake Paul, and he was like, "Hey, I'm pocket watching. How much are you and Tank getting? How much are you and Tank getting?" Right? Jake Paul said, "You guess some numbers, and I'll let you know if you're close." Something to this effect. The video can be found online. And Aiden Ross was like, 100 million. He was like, "No. Go lower." Then basically, long story short, Aiden Ross said about 50 million, and he said it's closer to that number, right? So that is a Netflix fight with two big names, whether you like the fight or not, with Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. That is a reality. Two big names. So if Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis in 2025, because they're about to fight 6 weeks or whatever, right? If they're not getting 100 million apiece for that particular fight, according to Jake Paul, but they're getting closer to 50 million apiece, what Bernie is saying, who is going to provide that for Terence Crawford? Again, I try to explain this to you. You could be the most skilled boxer in the game. You could be on pound for pound list. You could win an ESPY like Crawford has done twice. None of that matters if you can't sell yourself and you don't have the brand and the companies don't want to pay. Now, the Saudis have bread, right? We know that. Crawford is on the good side of Turkey. So, yeah, if Turkey wanted to give Crawford $100 million and it was available, I guess. But the reason why I'm saying is Crawford trapped is because Bernie's talking about $100 million to fight Janabek. Like, Janabek is cool. Like, I've seen his fights, but I'm a hardcore boxing fan and I make money in boxing and I have a boxing channel. completely different than casuals. Lada is 40, great fighter. Carlos Adames, he's kind of been fighting on undercards. So who's going to come up with that type of bread for a Crawford fight? And I love my job because I leave the breadcrumbs and, in real time, some things I say, it may not be received well. Maybe it is received well. I don't really care because I'm always going to speak my mind and keep it all the way funky with the fans. But I feel like as time goes on, Boxingego's earlier statements about Canelo Crawford, dead on. And now you're seeing is aging like fine wine. This is why I was against the fight from the beginning. Now, some people are like, oh, you just don't want to see Crawford succeed. That's probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard of. Like, when have y'all known me on my channel to stop anyone from succeeding? Like, I don't get in the way of fate. The universe has whatever plans, the fighters put the work in. It don't have nothing to do with me. So that's just a dumb, like, emotionally charged, driven statement to make. Like I'm setting up voodoo dolls of Crawford and different fighters and poking it every night, putting hexes on people. It's just ridiculous. But now we're seeing, this is what I was talking about. When you start playing musical chairs, now you really look at the game. And Tank Davis said it the other day. He was like, boxing is cooked. Boxing look weak right now, right? It's hard to disagree with. It's very hard to disagree with that. And I've been in the game for many years. Because, again, look at it. Now Crawford's team is saying they want $100 million, which, boxing has provided these types of paychecks before. However, it's been reserved for superstars, people who can sell at the box office. Now, Crawford did a great thing and a great performance. I gave him his props for it, and he cooked Canelo. There was no doubts about it. But to imagine Crawford getting $100 million for a Janibek type of fight to unify, then that don't really sound feasible. If the Saudis want to pay it and they got the bread, have at it. But that is a guarantee, no return on your investment. Like, you could put this in Nebraska, right? If, let's say, Janibek is willing to go to Nebraska, the biggest Cornhusker stadium, what type of numbers would that have to do to really justify $100 million? Right? He had a whole Eminem concert with Madrimov in LA, and it didn't do those kind of crazy numbers. And they said the event was giving out tickets and they were framing it as an Eminem concert. People didn't even know what they were there for. And they comped out 4,000 tickets last minute. And even the Canelo Crawford fight, you could believe me or whatever, the amount that they dumped into the fight and then how many tickets they had to give away, I don't think the fight was as profitable as they try to make it seem. They're like 70,000 people, but how many people pay top dollar, 10,000, 25,000 for those tickets? So now, I'm not mad at it. Crawford's team, they want $100 million. Crawford needs $100 million to perform or to get back in the ring, or he might retire. Then, in my opinion, if that is your real asking price, you might have to retire, because no one needs to see a Canelo rematch. And fights like Lada, Janibek, and Adames, those are like similar to kind of what he was fighting with Top Rank. Good fighters, but it's just not fights like super fights that's really going to resonate. And unfortunately for Crawford, he's so good. Errol Spence, there's really not a reason for a rematch. And the same thing with Canelo. So you don't really have any super fights. Pacquiao ain't finna jump up to 1-something. So it's like there are no more bigger stars that really make sense. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, though.